Hello everyone, so today I've got a little bit of a comparison video. So welcome everyone to the second tutorial on my channel. I'm going to be showing the battle interface, but before I went into a match I just wanted to show something that I didn't go through on the first tutorial, and I should go through it here. It's related to the battles. On the left I mentioned there's a missions button right here. Alright, click on that and it opens this window up. The campaign missions are a set of missions with 4 sets for each class of tanks, so light tanks, mediums, tank destroyers, heavy tanks, SPGs. 4, that's 5 now. Silly me. Once you complete the entire set you get a reward vehicle at the end, and for each mission you also get a reward at 50,000, and if you complete the secondary objective you get another little bonus, and yeah, you win these reward vehicles. So the first mission is to get a Stug 4, which I think is a tier 5 tank destroyer, and so on and so on. And the next tab, oh yeah, I should mention, you actually have to let's go on the ones I haven't done. Click on them and click start to like activate them. You can only have 1 for each class, but you can have 5 active in total. So once you complete them, it will notify you that you've completed them, show you what you got as the reward, and then you can select the next mission just by clicking on that and clicking start. Yeah, blah blah blah. And there's another thing here, missions and specials. These are so to speak passive, so you don't have to activate them or anything, they just go on while you're playing the game. You don't take notice of them. You might want to check every now and again in case there's like a reward for getting a specific number of battles. You get like a premium, which I've done before, like the WZ111, which was a tier 8, I believe, Chinese heavy premium, sort of like an IS6 kind of thing. Yeah, I just wanted to go through that quickly. Also, I'll just quickly mention, make sure you set up your services before you go into a battle, so your ammo and your consumables. I don't recommend putting consumables on if you've just started. There's not really any point, and it just kills your credit income. Better to leave it until you get to higher tiers, like 5 for instance. But if you have put some money in the game and you've bought a premium account like I have, then you can put them on because you'll earn credits most of the time. Yeah, I'll now go to the interface. Also, actually no, I won't. I'll hop into a modded version of the garage because it adds some extra just little bits on the screen. Also, I'll put the mod pack that I use in the description so you can find it and use it if you want to use mine, or the one that I use. Yeah, so now I'll switch to that one. So here we are in the modded version of the Hangar. So this isn't obviously every mod that you can get, but this is a mod pack that I use. It's called Pro Mod. For instance, you can change your actual hangar. If you should have noticed, I'm in a ruined city instead of in a like a garage. Also, on the crew, nice thing. There's you see the like 10k, the 9k, the 9k, 3k. It tells you how much XP you need to get to the next percentage on their like training, and then the first number is actually how many battles you need on your average to get that much for the crew. Right. Also, adds the time so you don't lose track of what time it is, which is quite helpful if you're a normal person who doesn't have a lot of time. What else is there? Also, it adds my statistics onto my tanks, so what my win rates and my performance are in them. So yeah. Also, a mod that I've actually forgot to install is, well, put in properly, is the carousel mod, I believe it's called. Basically adds more rows for someone who has a lot of vehicles, so so they can just look through them quicker. Also a mod allows, like, see this window that's popped up, you get that in the standard game as well, but with this it shows a lot more detail into the vehicle, because it gives you like a small summary on the standard client, but with this mod installed it gives you a lot more detail. That's generally what all these mods do, is just give you more detail and stuff. Also on the service record, this comes with a mod called XVM. You can look at your vehicles, like how well you play in your vehicles. Rather, obviously the higher the number, the better. Also, I think that's actually it for this. Well, also shows your win rate and stuff for specific vehicles, and how many battles you need to get it up and stuff, and yeah, that's it basically. Also here it'll give you your overall stats. So mine's my WN8 is 1502, which is alright. Not that good, but it's okay. What else is there? I'm not sure there's anything else here. There is some other things, little helpful things for managing your crew and stuff. I don't know, they might have been added into the standard game yet already, but I don't think they have, but I don't really know what they are, so I can't talk about them. That's a new thing. If I hold Alt plus 1, it says here on the hotkeys, it goes up all of this stuff for my personal missions. Oh, that's nice. Which are these things over here that we went through? These. That's quite useful. And it cycles through. So I'm guessing Heavy Tank 9 is the one I have selected. Let's just check this. Heavy Tanks all the way down here. Yep, Heavy Tank 9. That's kind of useful. Instead of me having to crawl through the list and see what it is. That's useful. Obviously if you're a new player you won't really need all this detail. You want to get used to the standard game first, but if you've played a few games and you're interested in getting a mod pack, then I'm just showing you what you can get from it. Now we're going to go into a replay, and I'll show you the actual battle interface for that, so I'll see you in a sec. Here we are in the battle interface on the high definition version of the client. Now we'll be going through a version of the client with mods installed, so I can show you what mods can add to the information that's displayed on your screen. But for now we're going to go through the stock version of the client. So now if this is your first few games or whatever, you may be a bit overwhelmed by the amount of things on the screen. It's not a lot compared to some other games, but it's still a little bit confusing for new people, so I'll go through everything and explain stuff. Alright, top left you have your FPS, your frames per second of the game. Obviously the higher the better. This is a replay, so it displays two, one for the replay, one for the replay client, and one for the actual FPS that was displayed in the game. And then after that you've got your ping, so how good your connection is to the server. And then the green dot is your connection to the server, so if it goes red then you have a problem and you'll have disconnection issues. And then after that, in the middle of the screen, you have the like little team list stuff. So the diamonds are light tanks, the squares are artillery, the diamonds with the one line through them are medium tanks, the big diamonds with two lines through them are heavies, and in the middle is the score, so 1, 1, 1, 2, whatever, and then the same for the enemy team. And below this here, these buttons change the team lists, how they display. So the first one just gets rid of them altogether, which I don't recommend doing. You want to know who's alive. And the first one after that just shows the symbol for the tank, so a little image of them. And to the left of that, you'll have the platoons. Platoons are tanks that have teamed together before or during a battle now from 9.8. You can do that. I'll show you that in a minute. Yeah, and if you... I don't know why is that doing that? I don't know. That's new. If you push control, it shows the full list. I didn't actually know about that. But anyway, also to get your mouse up, you hold control, which is why I'm surprised by that. Never happened before to me. Anyway, in the medium panel, it will display all of the same as before, but it will put the player's name in the middle, or part of their name anyway. And the next one just shows the name of the actual vehicle itself, not the name of the person, and the end one shows everything. Now, with the addition of 9.8, the patch, you see this little plus sign. You can invite people during the match to join a platoon with you and make a platoon in the game, so that's nice. So for example, if you're going down the same flank together with a couple other people, you can invite them to the platoon and use voice chat to coordinate. But so far I haven't seen very many people using this, but it's interesting. And then in the middle, yeah, right at the start of the battle, it'll tell you there's a countdown before the battle starts, and above it tells you what game mode you're playing, so that's nice. Obviously up here in the corner you have the time of the match. It's red at the moment because the game actually hasn't started. And in the middle you have your reticle. We'll go through that in a minute when the replay starts going again, but I'm just going to go through everything. Here you have the team chat, so you can talk to everyone including the enemy team, or to your own team, and if I was in a platoon, it'd be also an option to talk to only my platoon, so I could only talk to them, not everyone, or just, you know, specific people that you're actually platooned with. And to actually, you can obviously just push enter to open this up, but not in a replay. And it's tab to switch between the options, and then there's these little arrows which only work in the actual game itself. So yeah, then below this you have the damage panel. It displays your name on the first little bit there, and then the next thing is the name of the vehicle. Below that is the health pool of the vehicle, and below that the first thing is the modules of the tank. So you got your engine, your ammo, your gun, your turret, your tracks or suspension or other, your view devices, your radio, and your fuel tanks. Then below that you have your crew members. There's only 4 in this. There's more for larger vehicles. There's, I believe up to 6. I think. And also a tank in the middle to show you which way your turret is facing in regards to your vehicle. And also you have your speed, your clock here. And in the middle on the bottom you have your ammunition. So once you have your mouse out, you can actually mouse over your ammunition, which are the first 3. It will tell you how much damage they do, their penetration, what kind of shell they are, and stuff like that. Usually the order will be your standard ammunition, the second one will normally be your premium, the third one will be high explosive normally. Yep. And then you have your consumables, so what we went through earlier in the garage with the service stuff. Yeah, so your fire extinguisher, your small repair kit, or whatever you chose to put in, and then you use the numbers on your keyboard or spacebar, which I have for my fire extinguisher to put my fires out and stuff. And the last thing is the map, which is one of the most important things on the screen. So yeah, you can make the map bigger and smaller with the plus and minus key on the keyboard. It will display, depending on your options and what mods you have installed, obviously, if you have any other information as well. So it shows where your teammates are, what type of vehicle they are, so triangle is a tank destroyer, stuff like that. Then we have the names of the vehicle themselves. You can have other options, so it'll show the player name instead of the tank. And once the enemy team have actually been spotted, this actually start this moving now because we're almost done. Once you actually start spotting enemies, it will show them as well, like it does with your team. But once they are no longer spotted by a team or no longer seen by anyone, there will, depending on your options, be like a little a dot on the map showing where the last time they were spotted, where they were. Yeah. Right. So now we're just looking around. Also, if you mouse over a friendly, you see that it'll give you a little like highlight just to show. So, for example, when you're sniping and you suddenly get a green outline, it means a friendly, so don't shoot. Yeah, and if it's red, it's an enemy, obviously. Now, on the reticle, you have on the top left corner, you have the green bar, which is your reload. If it's green, it means you reloaded. If there's like a slow thing, red instead of green, it means you're reloading until it gets to the top. It goes from the bottom to the top. And in the middle, like reticle thing, shows where your gun is pointed with all those little dots. You'll see when I start moving that it'll move around, or you may have noticed it already. Below that you have the ammunition. Here we go, we'll fire now and you'll see the reload. See, the green bar's gone and you've got that little red progress bar going. Now you saw that light bulb appear. That means I was spotted by enemy. After I fired, I was seen by the enemy, and I'm visible to them for about 5 seconds. That is a crew skill. What's wrong with my words today? Crew skills. You can only start training special skills for your crew once they've hit to 100%, and which can take time depending on the tank and stuff. And also, it will show you the distance to targets. That enemy that I just destroyed was 501 meters away. And it will do the same for friendlies as well. It'll show you how far they are and stuff like that. So yeah. If you noticed on the map what I was on about earlier, the last known positions of enemies, there is currently quite a few vehicles that were spotted and that aren't anymore. So yeah, there's the example of that. Like the Ag Tiger that I shot right at the start. That is no longer spotted, now he is. Yeah, I think that's everything for the standard version. If I missed anything, please just yell at me in the chat. I'll now switch to a modded version and I'll show you that. So here we are with the modded version of the client. Now I won't run through everything because we've already been through it, a lot of it. But I'll go through the new stuff. So first thing, there is actually a time on here, so it's currently 4 in the morning because I don't sleep. And to the right of that is your damage throughout the battle. So every time you score a hit, which you'll see soon, that will go up, and it'll tell you what you hit, how much damage you did to a specific vehicle. Also below that you see by these buttons here. Also now when you hold control, your map comes right in your face, so you can get a nice good look at it. Anyway, the thing up here, that is a rating for how well you're doing in a battle. That's live, so if you shoot someone it'll go up, and spotting and all that crap, it'll go up. So yeah, it's just to show how well you're doing for a battle. So if you're chasing, for instance, an ace mastery badge, then you can use that to determine how well you're doing and if you need to improve and stuff like that. What else is there? Oh, there's also a hit point pool for both teams at the top now. Up here, yeah, you see this? It tells you how much HP your team and the enemy team has in total, which is very useful for determining who's winning. See, the live report of my WN8 for the match is going up, and it gave me on the damage indicator who I damaged, what damage I did to them. The name. It also gives you an average for each shell you fire at them, which is actually quite useful for a derp gun, I guess, because the damage is so it varies quite heavily. Now we're just going to let the hang on. Also, the site has changed, if you didn't notice. Forgot to go through that. There's many different sites you can use on many different mods. Some of them look nicer than others and stuff like that. But also, I have a mod installed from the pack. It allows like smooth zooming, so it's not shuddery like it is in the stock game, which is quite nice. So I was rewatching this and I realised I actually forgot to cover something, and luckily I realised before I actually started rendering the video, as that would have been a pain in the ass. So I don't know what's wrong with my actual the mod, which is probably why I didn't notice. Each player in these team lists at the side, they should have their name should be in colour and there should be statistics on there. And if I hold tab, this window will pop up where you can do this in the standard version as well, but there won't be the colours and stuff and the numbers. It'll just be like the normal team list at the side, but it will tell you what battle mode you're in and what the map is like. Now, what I forgot to go over was on the can I get the mics up as well? Yeah, okay. Right, on the left you have how many battles people have played. It's in thousands. It doesn't go any lower than in thousands, so you can't have like hundreds. So yeah, so there's that. And then the second one, the middle one, is the player's like stats. It depends which rating system you want to go for. The general one at this time now seems to be WN8 seems to be the most used one. There is efficiency, there's WN7 as well, and there's others. And yeah, I use WN8 as well because it seems to be reliable. Now, the higher the number, the better, generally better the player. So it goes in like if you notice the colours, it goes in stages. So it goes from deep red to orange to yellow to green to blue and then to purple. So about orange and yellow is about average. High yellow, so at the point just before it goes green, that's about above average, and then green is good, and then blue is very good, and then purple's just uncommon shit, which most people don't really care about, but a lot of people will rage. This really is to tell who on your team you can actually rely on. If you for instance, if you see someone with a hell of a lot of battles, like 49,000, which there are a lot, and they have like orange stats, then they're generally not really someone you should rely on. Also, yeah, that's generally what I go for. If they have like just a few thousand games and they're orange and red, I don't really like pick on them or anything, because or think they're bad, because I used to be like that as well. I had a few thousand games on me and I was a red player. I was terrible, and I slowly improved over time. So yeah, and then the last number here is the player's win rate. So mine's 51, and there's 47s on here and 50s and whatnot. So you can also tell by that how good that player is. So someone who's played a lot of games and they have a good win rate, so like 54, you can see that they've affected their games quite well. So they are generally a better player. Well, they must be, or they're very lucky. So yeah, that's what I missed, and we'll go back to the old me now, because I'll just cut this straight into the video. Oh, there's a tiger. And a leopard, which you've seen this shot before. Oh, that must have hurt. A little bit unlucky that I didn't roll slightly higher then and killed him, but yeah, well. Also, if you notice the getting spotted indicated, a little light bulb, it's actually a little skull. You can choose many different pictures, your own pictures if you like, to put on, but I just go with the ones I have to select from because I'm lazy and I don't care that much. That looks cool enough for me. Now if you notice, my WN80 jumped up quite heavily, and that shell completely missed the target because T49 derp gun. Yep. I could have let it aim a bit longer there, I probably should have actually, but doesn't matter. Yeah, there isn't really that much to go through since I went through most of it before. Also, actually, on the minimap, something I need to go through. You see these circles that are in around my tank. The middle one is like automatic spotting distance. So if there's an enemy within that circle, I will always spot them. It doesn't matter if I can't actually see them. If they're on the other side of a wall, I will know they are there. And the second outer one, I believe that is my my actual spotting range, and then the one after that is my actual view range, I believe. So the spotting range is the actual range that I can spot a vehicle, and the view range, the other one is the actual view range of the vehicle. And the big square that's following me around as well, it's huge. That is my render distance. If a vehicle is outside of that render distance, you can't see it, no matter what. You can still shoot it, which is what that that indicator on the map that shows where you're pointing your gun. If you line that up and you know the map well enough, you can quite often still hit the tank, and you will get a confirmed message from your crew saying hit or whatever they usually say. And that was the end of the match. So yeah, I think that's everything that I could really go through. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If it did help you, give me a like, and if you want to see more of these tutorials, subscribe and you'll get updated. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.